When restoring antique houses like this one,
Sometimes the paint is in such bad shape that the only way to do the job right is to strip off all of the paint and start fresh.
so my favorite method for stripping all the paint off an old house, hands down, is infrared paint removal.
This method works by using infrared equipment to heat up the paint so that it can be scraped off more easily. Unlike chemicals, which can require several applications to get through multiple paint layers, with infrared you can remove all of the layers in one pass. An old house like this is going to have some lead paint, and that's a great reason to use infrared. The operating temperature of infrared equipment is typically between 200 and 400 degrees. That's low enough to avoid vaporizing the lead in the paint. A standard heat gun can generate temperatures up to 1100 degrees, so you risk vaporizing the lead in the paint and inhaling it in the process.
That's one benefit for the infrared stripping, is the low temperature. The other is that
Infrared doesn't create any dangerous airborne dust like grinding and sanding does. The paint comes off in chunks that are easily collected for proper disposal. And unlike chemical-based methods, there's no risk of chemicals seeping into the ground and no messy rinsing steps required, which can raise the grain of the wood, resulting in a lot of additional prep.
So one final note, this is by no means an inexpensive process.
It takes a long time to take the paint off a building like this. So you might ask, why not just rip off all the siding and the trim and start with new? Well, one reason is that the wood on a building this old was harvested from old growth forests. It's harder and it's more rot resistant. We've since chopped down nearly all the old growth trees, so the wood that's available today comes from much younger trees.
That is why the siding that's put up today does not last as long.
It just doesn't compare to the old wood. The other important thing is the environmental consideration. By removing the paint, we essentially recycled the entire exterior of this house. If we had removed and replaced all the siding and trim, not only would we be using new resources to replace those materials, we'd be sending truckloads of construction waste to the landfill.
Stripping all the paint from a house like this is an enormous undertaking, but it's so worth it because of the results you get.
Not only did this project turn out looking fantastic, we can be confident that the exterior will last for another 100+ years.